Yes.
Hey,
Victory.
technological victory. Hurrah.
It works. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay, good. Um, I'm so happy you're back. Um, I was thinking for this whole month, working on, from the Fetter 1 all the way to the 7, just, that's my plan. But obviously it didn't work out that way. I would just stay in that Fetter 1 and 2. Just seems like I just keep going back and forth and back and forth, and I feel like there's so much for me to work that way. But of course, I was following along with the sevens, all the lessons stuff. It's just weird. This couple, like maybe couple weeks, I start feel like I have trouble to concentrate when people like on Discord when they have a long question or long answer or something. I have trouble to read all that stuff. Just seems like my mind just like I couldn't concentrate, but I can settle down to concentrate to read, see what's going on. But I just have trouble to relate for I don't know why. Seems a little different than what I used to be. And also I was been, watching Olympics and I was just like enjoy all these physical bodies, how they can do. But what amazed me to is like after, somebody won something or fail something, like the person come back, I did that. It's just so obvious how, whatever, like I'm so proud of myself. I did that. I was like, it's just like funny how I can see things like that nowadays. I was really concerned of somebody like all of a sudden become a superstar. I was like, what's going to happen to that person eventually? It's kind of scary to be a overnight bright star. So I feel like I see a lot of stuff, and also I see a lot myself. Just understand a lot of things conceptually instead of really into my heart. But now I can see slowly it's making progress. Not really, just slowly. I feel like the understanding from the mind starting to integrate. And Todd has a video posted like right before Monday or Friday or something. I can't remember what he said at all right now. But right after that, I just feel like there was a gentle push on me, really, really gentle, but I feel like I went to the other side. And things just open up like I can't I can't believe anything what I'm saying, my mind is saying, any thought. I just like open up. And yesterday when you have your video talking about don't focus, just zoom out instead zoom in, I was like, because I did experience like the Feather 6 talking about no, no, like zero distance. To me, is zero distance. It's not like all of a sudden something to be flat, but everything is so close, so close. Especially when I'm watching TV, everything just jump right in front of my face. I'm getting used to that, but at first I'm like, whoa, whoa. But I'm getting used to that. I just like, so I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me still here when everything else so close, because I just feel like, okay, there's still a person actually experiencing zero distance. It makes no sense. I just feel like something is so significant, so obviously something, but I still there's a little somebody still here actually see that. It's just I'm like I don't understand how it can possibly be like that. So after that couple videos you have, and I feel like I've been failing for my plan for this month, and things start to be right after the retreat with you guys. Actually, during the retreat, everything just starting to go out of control. Out of control, like especially at work, to the point now that I'm like, I don't even care anymore because it's so out of control. I don't care. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, everything work out just by itself. The controller, I thought I was not in control. I know that mentally, but I still doing everything. I think I'm in control until like I completely just give up. Give up. Like I know, wow, I'm like, actually, I never have done that before. I just think I did.
Yes.
And I mean, I thought I know that, but until actually I really experienced in the real time, it's just so crazy how the mind and the is still taking all this credit. I'm also like, okay, right, it's not there at all. I just feel like how stupid that can be. Why I'm like already understand it, but still don't understand it, and still trying to do the opposite. It's just so tricky, the mind. I mean, I don't know if it's a question or something. I just feel like now
Because
relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I had one very specific one that I was going to go to. So if you have like more of the other ones, you can go
go on.
first.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, but I have so many things. There's so
Okay,
many
okay,
different
okay.
things.
So I'll go to
It's
the
better to start with one angle.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to go to, because I think this one is one of the deeper ones that you mentioned that is a really, really great insight, and something that's a pointer to look more towards is, like you said, even when you're recognizing things at zero distance, there still seems to be the one who is aware of seeing at zero distance. And so this is where it's so crucial, and at least in my view, of continuing to do the self-inquiry very similar to what we do in first fetter. Also, I mean, I still think it's useful to do first fetter kind of inquiries all the time anyway. But even when we're talking about the sixth fetter, where we're still looking for a more subtle version of that identification. It's still a more subtle version of me. It's still the idea that there is a witness in here who is somehow separate. So even if the visual field has collapsed, there is still this feeling, because there is something which is considered to be separate from that visual field. And where this is sort of a gateway to any number of other insights and other explorations, is that I would like for you, when that happens, to check in with your other five senses. Well, all of the five physical senses, all of the five mental senses, and notice, okay, everything is collapsed. You're seeing things very, very close. Does it feel like there is still somebody who is seeing this from behind? Is it really as close as can possibly be? Is there anything in the visual field itself separate from the visual field? Is there still any sort of lingering feeling of a view, a perspective from someplace else? So that would be kind of the internal visual sense of it. In the physical sense, notice if you're still feeling physical sensations in the body, which might be, like I talked about in the little meditation, anything that is structurally, normally part of the physical sensations of the body, but also anything that is what we normally take to be a self-related feeling. So feelings of pressure in the face or something in the chest, something that you have taken in the past to be the proof and hallmark of your self-existence. Notice if those sensations are there, and if those sensations are being compared to the visual field, to say that the visual field is super close up right here, but I can still feel sensation here, and I can still feel sensation back here. And there's still this creation of duality by comparison. Notice your auditory field to see if you're still locating things, because I can see the physical world, or the visual world is right here, but I can hear things that seem to be out there and over here and back here. And that's creating this sense of three dimensions. But possibly even more important than all of those investigations is to notice if there is what it is that is creating that sense of being the one who is knowing it, the one who is watching it, who is recognizing being that close, seeing things at zero distance. that can only be a thought. And we don't have to just stop at the thought. You can actually break that apart into, okay, is it a visual thought that you're seeing that's part of it? Are you hearing a voice that is narrating the fact that there is something else seeing here? Are you talking to yourself in that way? How is that thought showing up that is giving the idea that there is something here, which is knowing it? Is it just a linear recognition of a moment when things are out there and then recognizing that things are up here? Is there a memory comparing how it is now to how it was when things are out there? Is there a memory comparing it now to how it is now again? Is there something which is bridging that gap and keeping it from being one permanent elongated moment to being individual snapshots of me reflecting on being a me, reflecting on being a me, reflecting on being a me over and over again? So I just invite you to get really curious about the actual experience of that creation to find out which elements are combining to become that feeling of being the knowing self. Because it's, again, never that it's there and we're getting rid of it, or it's there and it goes away and then comes back. It's simply some manifestation, some appearance that is always here, which is being misunderstood as something that it's not.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Thank you.
That was brilliant. Yeah, it's really that becoming aware of that delusion that our senses are.
Yeah.
That when we talk about the senses in the lower fives, it's very much about the only thing you know to be real is in your five senses. It's what you hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. That's the only thing you know to be real. But in the higher fives, we are very, very clear on even that is a delusion. What you think you hear or what you think you smell, see, or touch, it's just what you think, because it's whatever the sensory experience is picking up, that the brain is interpreting into being something that is telling you in the frontal lobe what it actually is. I had an experience the other day where I was sitting in the garden and meditating, and suddenly the sounds went from being sounds into just being vibration. And it still lingers. It's still the same thing, that I don't hear sounds. I hear vibration, different vibrations on different levels. And I need to kind of concentrate on, that is cicada, that is a bird, that is Todd, that is, it's because it's like, it's like the audio field just collapsed, and it's just vibration happening. It's like tinnitus in different tones. And it really made me become so aware of that constant delusion we have when we see something and we think this is a cup of coffee. I know it's a cup of coffee, but no, it's not. No, it's not. It's atoms and it's electrons, and it's like that. There's like you always say, there's no wetness in a water molecule. It's like whatever we perceive reality to be, it's just not that.
Yeah, we've been having some,
but what you said was better because you kept it at Amy's experience of that little nugget of an eye, which is more relevant, I think.
Yeah, but I agree with what you say. I think there's something, we've both been having weird aberrant experiences lately.
Yeah,
like,
the last last month.
It's really last
night. It's been
night.
an odd month.
Last night was a weird night. But I was printing something, and all of a sudden I saw this little whoof of smoke, and like I knew there was no smoke. I have no idea where it came from. There was just this little whoof of smoke that came across the vision and then disappeared, and there was no smoke. Nothing was on fire. Nothing happened. But there are these really strange little. So it's just what I've been.
Can I just say that a really important thing about that is that when we have a brain that keeps filtering out what is relevant right now, we do not notice the smoke.
Yeah.
We do not notice the vibration of sound. We don't notice that because the brain keeps telling you that's nonsense. There's no smoke. You do not need to notice that smoke. So you don't even see it. It's not until you are completely clear on whatever you believe reality is. It's just what your brain allows you to believe what reality is. Reality is something completely different. And it's very often things that the brain can't even comprehend. And then you start to see smoke just coming by.
Yeah. It's an odd thing, but the kind of approach that I've been recommending to people is to take the sort of mental posture of somebody who has just knowingly ingested some sort of psychedelic drug, so that you're just like, okay, this is just the visual, this is just an illusion. It's just a visual experience. It's not real. It's just what's floating here, and you can just kind of relax into the knowingness that it's strange. It might get freaky, it might not, but it can't hurt you. There's no inherent realness or solidity to it. It's just, oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we can really take throughout our life to if we're having any sort of fearful clinging or holding back, especially with sixth fetter stuff or seventh fetter stuff, when things start to perhaps shift and look differently than we've considered them to look in the past. We can feel that kind of grasping and fearful clinging for stability and certainty and things to be rigid the way that we normally expect them to be. And you just, okay, I can accept this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sorry, I was just gonna say also, and I love when you were saying about the the athletes being.
I was just about to
Okay,
say about the Olympics.
Yeah.
No, it's just the Olympics. It's such a great display of causes and conditions, because it's like it's the most extreme causes and conditions on display there. If you have been bred with great genes, you will end up in the Olympics. It's like people that are 6, 5, 7 feet tall that are super, super strong in the upper body, are super, super strong in the lower body. The muscle fibers are just that, There's no ordinary Joe there. I mean, it's just an amazing display of causes and conditions. There are none of us that are amazing in that way. Our causes and conditions sucks compared to this.
Nothing here that would have led to me being in the Olympics. Like this body is not. It's not going to end up in the Olympics.
But it's in what we talk about when we are aware of no self, when we are aware that there is no one home. The Olympics is interesting to watch also because it's just that. It's perfect. It's like a perfect storm of causes and conditions with supportive parents, living in a town that had that type of athletics that your muscle fibers are into, being nourished in the right way, that when you were a fetus, your mom, she had a steak exactly that day and didn't have a beer, and that's why you win the Olympics. I mean, it's like the calculations that needs to end up in you winning a medal or just participating in the Olympics, it's like, it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And there's no one, like you pointed out, there's no one that, ooh, I did that so well. No, you didn't. Causes and conditions did, babe. You didn't.
I love that you saw it for that and saw that kind of egoic posturing that takes credit for everything that has happened and all the that was so good.
Yeah. Did you want to add anything?
No, that was
it. Okay.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think maybe I still try to hold on something because I feel like I've been experiencing a lot of fear because, just like if I let go what I already know was going to be, and also because my background is Christian, so I am sense to me, it just doesn't make sense because I can't be God, that just to me, I can't be God. So I can only be this small little self. So when this is really threatened, I just really feel like I need some new concept or some new belief to replace, like even the non-dual is become like a new belief. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I see that. So it's kind of scary, just let go everything. But
Yeah.
somehow, yeah, now it's
I'm quite sure we're going to talk with Andrew about that in a moment as well,
okay,
about
great.
about beliefs, because the first thing I want to say to you is that there's no difference, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, whether you believe that there's an Amy or there's not an Amy, if you believe in astrology or you don't. There's no difference. It's just a belief. It's just a thought. If you believe that you're a purple leprechaun or you don't, no difference. It's just a thought. It's just a belief. There's nothing more in it. But when we come from something that is based on belief, then we go from believing this to be truth and then into doubt, because you cannot stay in that belief state all the time. People that believe in a god or believe in the universe or believing that they're part of something, or I am a raindrop and I am the forest and all of that. It's only something that is alive when you think about it over and over and over and over. The moment you don't think about it, you drop into direct experience, and then you are in doubt immediately. And it's that existential dread that is the neighbor to belief.
Yeah.
That either you have a belief and you are, everything is amazing, or you are in existential dread because you're not believing right now, and that plunge you into a black hole. What we're talking about is not a belief. We don't want you to believe anything. We want you to experience. Do not believe anything we say. Go to your direct experience. When you inhale, what do you feel? Are you sure about that? Question even that. Whenever you believe that you know what it is you're experiencing, that is a belief. Even that has to drop. So it's coming back to the experience, the direct experience, over and over and over, like Todd talked about before, that because our brain is built like it is, we do not see the now as it is, because there's a now and now and now. It's like snapshots that are happening, but our brain is built in a way so we perceive time, which means that thread that is gluing all the individual nows together, that is how it's experienced. So you have 5 seconds this now, 10 seconds this now, 15 seconds this now. So that those 30 seconds feel like 30 seconds, but it's not though. It's a now, and it's an individual snapshot. But because our brain is built like it is, we weave everything together. And when we do that weaving, that is where the belief happens. So it's getting back to that snapshot of a now. That is where you have the direct experience. Forget that. Now is the direct experience. Forget that. Now is the direct. So it's that keep coming back to that. It's the only way to get out of any belief.
Yeah, that's the scary part for me, I think, is because all I can sense right now, it really just the five senses. So that's the part make the 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 mind just going crazy, pretty much,
Yeah.
like just nowhere to land. You just keep trying to find somewhere to land. And now I finally relaxed and like, right, there's nowhere to land. That's what it is right now. Is that's just it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
because beliefs are really convenient for that, because they give us that false resting place, because it takes us out of the direct experience. It takes us out of the moment to some place which is always stable. If you have an idea of God, that idea of God doesn't have to change. It's the same idea of God that you have every time you go to it. So it seems like it's consistent and always available. The whole world around you might be burning and, chaotic and constantly in flux, but you have this idea that you can always go to, and that gives you this feeling of comfort and stability. Like Pernell said, we're looking to be free of all of those beliefs. So it's not God, it's not no God, it's not me as a little self, it's not no self. It's simply the raw experience, where if you put any label on it, and you try to find anything for comfort or stability that's not in the actual direct experience, you're already being lost in some form of thought and delusion. And if you can just, that's where I think it might take a little bit of practice isn't quite the right word for it, but
Repetition.
yeah, maybe more repetition, that the more you are in that just open space without any need for some sort of belief or home base to go to, there is that, as Pernilla always says, the stillness and complicity and
Simplicity.
simplicity and contentment that is underneath all of it. It is our base resting place when we're not scrambling to make a concept, to find a concept, to latch onto it, to find something in the external world to eat or fulfill some need, and then going back to a concept. When we're not doing that, the base level is just a very content, conceptless way of being, where you are just floating in and out with every experience that happens. But I think it does take some getting used to, yeah, unpinned, Hara said, thank you. Where it takes that, it takes getting used to it, because it's so different from the way that we have spent the majority of our life, that change feels very uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can completely understand what you're saying. Actually, I think that's the your couple recent videos really just kind of helped me to just letting go.
That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, so I just starting feel like I'm starting to flow and ease out in it in that way. Somehow, yeah, to me it's not like jumping off the cliff or something. It's really just I don't know, just take off, kind of flowing.
Yeah,
Starting that way these couple of days. So I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for.
Good.
beautiful,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
So good seeing
Thank
you.
you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Thanks.